Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. I have decided to embark on a new fashion challenge for myself. If you don't know, I did Project 333 4 times over last year. I'll have something linked up here about that. And while I'm not doing that this year, and while I am also not doing a low buy this year, and therefore I'm allowed to bring new clothing into my wardrobe, I want to do a couple challenges throughout this year, and I've decided to kickstart the first one. Now, this is a challenge that I'm a little bit on the fence about because I am actually gonna wear only neutrals for the next week, 10 days, 2 weeks, haven't quite decided yet. And to me that sounds quite boring because if we look at my wardrobe, it's a very small percentage to me that is neutrals. Sure, I have some white dresses with patterns on them. Like, I have a white dress with flowers. I have 2 white dresses even with colorful flowers on them. They are white, which is a neutral, but the dress itself is not neutral because there are colors in it. And so I'm only allowing myself to wear white, black, beige, grey, white, grey, black, beige, and brown, I suppose, in the next little while. It will probably say in the title how many days this went on for, how many weeks this went on for. But since I don't have that many items of neutrals, I don't yet know how long I can make this go. Most of my neutrals are currently clean and in my wardrobe, which is behind you. I'll show you in a bit. But I have at least one thing currently in the wash that I don't think will get washed over this experiment, and that is my grey cardigan. Apart from that cardigan, I have this cardigan, which is black, like of my neutral cardigans. Meaning I have one cardigan to play around with, and it's still winter, it's still cold. So we'll see how well this goes. The cardigans are really what's worrying me. But I'm gonna have this challenge be my tops, my cardigans, and my bottoms. I'm not gonna count underwear and socks and outerwear because, I mean, most of my underwear I guess are neutrals, but my coat is pink and I'm not gonna swap coats right now. So I'm looking at my racks behind you. I got a second rack recently in a thrift store, and I've hung up all of my clothes on these 2 hangers now. Not outerwear and not what is currently in the wash, but apart from that, everything is there. Tank tops, summer clothes, shorts, and I'm gonna move some things around and just have all my neutrals together in one place and then see where we go from that. And I'm gonna try to film some outfit shots as well throughout this experiment. They're not gonna be very interesting because I don't think my neutral clothes are all that interesting, although I have like 2 outfits that are beautiful. But yes, I'm gonna remove some things, rehang things on there. But also, if this challenge is running for say 2 weeks, don't expect 14 outfits because I like to rewear things. In general, I wear the same outfits over and over a lot of the time, but also I usually wear an outfit 2 days in a row, and like what I'm wearing today is my short-sleeved white button-down, this big cardigan, and black jeans. And tomorrow we are gonna help my parents move unexpectedly. They called me like half an hour ago, so we know they were moving, but we weren't gonna help them. So I am probably not gonna put on other clothes tomorrow to, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it makes sense to me what I'm trying to say. I hope it makes sense to you too. Today is the 4th of February and this is what I'm wearing today. Now let's spin the camera around to show you the clothing racks and I'll shuffle things around. Okay, so here we have the 2 clothing racks. This is my old one and this is the new one. It's a little bit bigger and it has hooks on the inside here. Not really super important. What I've done now, pre-filming this, is just put things into sort of categories. So I have bottoms, dresses, second layers like sweaters and vests, like this kind of vest. I also have my PJs at the very end, don't mind those. And here I have hung up tops and thinner cardigans, like summer cardigans. So what I think I'm gonna do, since the amount of neutrals I have is much less than my non-neutrals, I'm gonna compress all of my neutrals on this one. And when I say this one, I mean part of this one, because I won't need the whole thing, and what's not neutrals on here can't really fit here without being super cramped. So let's pick out the neutrals. Leather skirt, grey denim skirt, grey sort of jersey material skirt. I don't know how well this actually wears with tights, and that's what I live in right now because I can't really be bare-legged in the temperatures, but it's still a neutral, so I'm grabbing it. As well as this. This is a skirt I wore in the summer. It was in my summer capsule. I think it's really pretty, but again, not sure how it wears with tights. And also it creases the second you look at it, so don't look at it too hard, okay? And then I have my black jeans that I'm wearing now, and my last pair of neutral bottoms are these culottes that I've had in like all of my capsules. Love them, they are great. Favorite dress, second favorite dress. Dress I wore the most in 2022, at least. This one, definitely a neutral. However, the one hanging next to it, which is my new dress, looks like this, is actually navy and white and not black and white. So this does not get to be included. This is a sleeve of my Christmas dress, but that has red on it, so we're passing on that. Slip dress. Sure, it's a neutral, but I don't wear it as just a dress. That is a neutral. Another grey cardigan that I like how I forgot to talk about this. This is a grey cardigan, yes, but it's thinner than the one I'm wearing and the one in the wash. But it's not in the wash. Never mind. I should have just looked at my rack. Okay, fine. Whatever, it's fine. And then a vest. And two more vests. Alright. Maybe I will just move non-neutrals over on this one. Neutral. Neutral. Bunch of non-neutrals. Alright, I think we have it. Let's move the camera and set this up better because I'm not even in frame, am I? It's not much better for me fitting into the camera, but at least you can probably see the clothes now. Bags are just hanging in here because that's where I put them before. They are also neutral, so I guess they could stay. But here are my options then. Here are the clothes. Now, there might still be one or two things in the wash that probably will not be included in this, but looking at it like this, I think I had more pieces than I thought I did. Let's count through them and then we'll figure things out. I will say before we start doing that I have four beige things, I guess, or beige brown. The rest is white, black and grey. This skirt that I showed before, this crop top, which you tie in the front, it has buttons and you tie it. And then I have two tank tops. One of them looks like this. It has wider bands, I guess, on the shoulders and a very nice flowy cottony material. Nothing super special, and it has a little button in the front. It's just a little detail of something. And then the other one is just a strappy tank top. It looks white on camera, but I promise you it's beige. But yes, apart from those four beigey browny things, everything is white, black and grey. And I don't really tend to mix like brown and grey. I tend to, for me, beige and brown is one kind of color family and white, grey and black is another one. Don't know if that makes sense to anyone else, but that's what I tend to think. This is horrible to film this way, but let's just go. I have 8 tank tops, which I've all gathered on one hanger. One white t-shirt, one white summer top, which, like, am I gonna wear this in winter? Not so sure. 4 white button downs, including the one I am wearing. 1 black leather skirt, 2 grey skirts. The pants I showed you before and the jeans that I'm wearing. I brought in the slip dress, like I said, and this dress, which I did wear in my Q4 capsule, but not a lot. And then I have 2 cardigans, 3 including the one I am wearing. And then I have 4 sort of vests. I have this knit one that I really like. It's kind of tight fitting, buttons down the front. I tend to keep these buttons closed. This, which is more of a mock neck, it's closed and it's a bit high-low, as you can see, and it has slits up the side like that. And speaking of slits up the side, I got this recently. You can see that in a video linked up here somewhere. Long grey, like really high splits on the side. I think this could look really good over a button down, so we'll try that. And then I have my black vest, like suit vest. It looks like this. And lastly, I have a grey t-shirt with these little ghosts and puns on it. You are currently watching BooTube. So all in all, interestingly enough, It is about 30 pieces. I'll put the actual number on the screen somewhere for you here. 30 pieces, which is very similar to the 33 that I ran a capsule wardrobe around, or 4 capsule wardrobes around actually, last year. I'm not gonna do this for 3 months. I will not do this for 3 months, but yeah, there you have it. That is the start, and then let's see how it goes throughout the next week, 10 days, 2 weeks, probably not more than 2 weeks.
Alright, so here is the first outfit. Very simple, just a white button down, black jeans, and a black cardigan. This is my short-sleeved white shirt that has some like lace detailing on the front. It's decent. Next up, my most worn dress of 2022. I love this dress so much. However, I realized that it sadly is broken and I need to fix it, so it will not be in rotation for a little bit and it won't be used more during this experiment. But yeah, love it so much. Wore the same black cardigan that I showed in the previous clip and just very happy with this outfit. Next up, we have an outfit that in theory I really like. I like the mix of shapes in this. I like this long open thing, but I hated how this felt on. I tried it with a belt and that made me feel very medieval knight-y, but something about how it felt on my skin was just awful. Next up, very simple, black jeans and a t-shirt and a cardigan. Nothing special about it, but comfortable, decent. Not my favorite thing I've ever put together, but it does the job. Now here we have an outfit I really liked. It's this tight-fitting white button-down with an embellished collar, a grey knit vest, and my black jeans. The only problem with this is that the jeans are low-rise, and so sometimes there would be a gap between the jeans and the vest, exposing a bit of the shirt in the back. But I really liked how it looked and felt. Next up, we have a white t-shirt, a grey denim skirt that I picked up in January, and a black cardigan. I wore the cardigan closed, which kind of made it impossible to see what I was wearing, so I wanted to show you what it would look like with the cardigan open. This was really comfortable. The only thing is the skirt felt a little bit short when I sat down, but that was easily adjusted once I sat down. Finally, we have my favorite outfit. This is a tested and true one I've worn many a times before, with my culottes, my oversized white shirt with an embellished collar and embellished cuffs, and this suit vest. I just really like the shape of this. I feel like it is very flattering, plus it is extremely comfortable. So 10 out of 10, love this outfit.
Alright, there you have the end of the neutrals experiment, and as you can see I am not wearing neutrals, but I want to talk a little bit about my thoughts for this experiment. First of all, should I rename it? Because yes, I did only wear neutrals, but I only wore white, grey and black. There was no beige, there was no brown. I just stuck with that grey and black and white color family sort of thing. I did mention before that I don't wear a lot of brown and beige usually anyway, and I guess I sort of proved that with this video. Also, the two pieces I showed you that weren't tank tops are summer pieces to me, and it's cold and winter. And yes, I know this video is going up in March, but I did this experiment back in February, and despite it now being March, it is still very cold. It was down at -14 degrees Celsius the other day, which is about 6 degrees Fahrenheit. So cold, and maybe not wearing summer pieces makes sense. But how did I feel during this experiment? Well, I did feel pretty put together. I feel like I looked pretty well dressed, whatever that means, but it was a little bit on the boring side. I do like my colors, as you can tell, as you've seen before. I do like my colors. I do like having the mix of neutrals and colors, and I was surprised at how not bored I felt with these clothes, but it was only like a 2-week long thing. I think if I'd kept going for a month or 2 months or even 3 months, I would have felt a lot more limited and a lot more kind of sick of what I was wearing and the fact that there was no color. Could I have done this experiment where I accessorized with color but only wore neutral clothes? Sure, maybe, but I'm not very good at accessorizing as it is, as I've mentioned before. Maybe that is a future experiment that I will do at some point, but maybe that would have been a way to get around feeling kind of limited in my options. And I guess no matter how many clothes you have access to and what color scheme you go for, you are limited to some extent. I just felt limited only wearing 3 colors for 2 weeks. Another downside was cat hair. I live with 2 cats, one who is predominantly white and one who is predominantly black. And the white hair was all of my black clothes and the black hair was all of my white clothes. It was just very noticeable in a way that I feel like it isn't on something like this or something like a blue shirt. Like, I just felt like it was much more noticeable this time around. I feel like I was picking cat hair off myself all the time. Also, I barely wore any patterns during this experiment of wearing neutrals. There is that pair of culottes that I wore which are checkered or houndstooth. That's it. Everything else was a solid color or had a print. I had a t-shirt that had a print on it, but there is no other pattern. And that was also difficult for me, or different especially for me, because gestures vaguely to current dress. I was also a little bit surprised by my cardigan and sweater situation, because as I mentioned earlier in the video, I only had 3 cardigans that fit this theme, this color scheme, and no sweaters that fit. And I only wore 2 of the cardigans. Now, in some of the try-on clips, I am not wearing any cardigans. I'm just wearing like a button down. I'm pretty sure I wore a cardigan, one of those 2, the thick grey one or the black one, while wearing those outfits, but I'm filming some of these clips a little bit after the fact and just reminiscing and trying to remember what I wore, and some of these outfits might have been worn with cardigans. But it was one of those 2 when it worked out fine. I wasn't cold, but I was surprised that those 2 cardigans were enough. I didn't even wear the thin grey one at all. But there you have it. That is the end of this video. I would love to hear down below if you have tried anything similar, or if it's not an experiment for you and your wardrobe is predominantly neutrals or predominantly a certain color scheme. Let me know in those comments down below, and I'll be back soon with another video, so I hope to see you then. Bye!